One thing, when you go to perform Hajj and you see the millions of people, you realize how insignificant we are. Doesn't matter how wealthy we are, how educated we are, what a degree we have here, what a house we have here, what a car we have here, what a job we have here, what a position we have here, what an authority we have here, what a power we have here. When we go there, we realize we are nobody. We are just a number. And not even a number. There are millions of people who are dying for the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are millions of people who are dying for the love of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in addition to performing the Hajj, one of the things you see is how much love people have for Allah. As they reach into Makkah, they reach there, put on the ihram, is labbaik, Allahumma labbaik, Ya Allah, we are here. It's just the love for Allah. They go to Masjid al-Nabawi, the love for the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sometimes people become so selfish, they don't want another person to even get in the line. Now that is crossing the boundaries. That's not right Islamically. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, La yu'minu ahadukum hatta yuhibbu li akhihi ma yuhibbu li nafsihi. You are not a true believer until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. So sometimes in all the excitement and the emotion and the love for Allah and His Rasul, people don't want other people to touch the Kaaba. They don't want other people to get in line to give the salam to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is getting a little extreme. But that's one part. On the other hand, what we see is we might sit back here in Florida and say, I don't need that trouble in Saudi Arabia. I don't need to go there to perform Hajj. I don't need that crowd. But Allah doesn't need you neither. Because there are millions of people who are dying just to say, Allah, we are here, labbaik, Allahumma labbaik. That's one thing you really learn when you go there. See how very insignificant it is. How we are nothing. And therefore we need to want to be something in answering to the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's very important. Another thing we learn, brothers and sisters, and those of you who have been there and learned that, I pray that Allah gives us the hidayah, the guidance and the tawfiq and the opportunity, the iman, the faith, the courage to continue to understand and live by that understanding. You know that ihram, Allahu Akbar, that two pieces of cloth that people tie, white, men especially. It is so interesting that forget about all the spirituality of it. Let's get into the physical, materialistic aspect. When everybody wear that two little simple piece of cloth, you really don't know who is an engineer and who is a doctor, who is wealthy, who is poor. Not at all. That's one of the hikmah in that simplicity. It brings everybody down and humbles everybody. And you could be what millionaire and what doctor and what engineer and what billionaire here in America, you realize I'm very insignificant. Nobody cares who I am or who you are. They really don't care. You make a miss, they walk over you. Your house and size and whatever we have is nothing. That's a lesson to show how insignificant we are. We may think that we are somebody here, but really in the eyes of Allah, it is only our taqwa and our piety that counts. Those things that we think we are somebody here is nothing in the eyes of Allah. And you don't need to see the day of Qiyamah to understand that. That's the point I want to get at, my brothers and sisters. We don't need to wait for the day of judgment to realize that haqiqat, that reality. Just go into Arafah on the day of Hajj and you will realize that haqiqat and reality. Like the plains on the day of judgment as it would be. Nothing of who we think we are, but our amal, our deeds, our taqwa, our piety, our love and our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what counts. That's very deep. And those of us who have performed the Hajj and come back, keep that in mind. Don't let arrogance walk over us. You know, when you're in Hajj, arrogance just humbles itself. You know, here people push themselves around, brothers. You know that. People can gallivant here in America. I am this, I am that. I got 40 businesses. I own a lot of money. When you go there, nobody wants to even know who you are. You don't even pull that by immigration. It doesn't count. Nobody cares. And if nobody cares who we are, you think Allah really cares about our $1 million and our position and our jobs? Regular human beings don't care who you are. Allah looks at our piety and our taqwa, and that's a very interesting lesson we can learn right here on this earth. Because everybody looks the same. And even if a man thinks he's better than somebody, he cannot exercise it because that has no power across there. There are so many people. We have been dealing with people in our tents. You know, before they left, one guy is like, one guy is like, something he was talking, and then I realized he's a doctor, a brain specialist. And I'm like, I thought he was probably a handyman somewhere. Believe me. I thought the guy was a handyman, only to know he's a brain specialist. He was moving around the tent, walking around, what to do, what not to do, how to do this. I got to share this before we hang up. We conclude the khutbah. I shared it last night with the brothers, and I got to share this. There was another brother. How we become simple and humble, and arrogance don't work. When you see all these people in the love for Allah, and all these people praying to Allah, and all these people humbling themselves, you realize that we have nothing in comparison to what the others have. And you think you're somebody and you're running to somebody better than you with materialistic things, and they're more humble than us. And it brings us right down. So there was this brother, very interesting. And you know, after I think, his humbleness, his love for Allah, and his simplicity was like a barakat for him in Hajj. There was this brother, I wouldn't say country or where or what. He got lost for a day and a half, went up Jabal Rahmah out of his love for Allah. He went, then because of the crowd and the people, he got misplaced with another group, and we lost him for a day and a half or so. And when he got lost and he came back after a day and a half, and you know, he started telling me how he felt like a beggar. He kept on using the word miskeen. He said, everybody treated me like a miskeen, like a beggar. He said, because I had no ID. Nobody knew I'm from America. No ID. No money, because he left his bag with his money, everything in the tent. No money, no ID. Nothing he had. His phone, the minutes ran out. No, he also left his phone in the tent at that time. Interesting. And people just treated him like nobody. See how interesting it is. When I met him a day and a half after, I want to cut a long story short, and I just happened to meet him because he came to me to ask me to use my phone to call his wife. I want you to learn the lesson. Let's pay heed to that lesson. He said, and it's not that I don't have any money, you know, but my phone doesn't have money right now. I need to go and put money in it. So he was trying to, you know, not make me think that he really wants me to do a favor, and he's just going to call her so she could call him back. And in that conversation, finding out who he is and where he's from and some more details about his life, I came to learn the man has a house worth $1.2 million. And he got 2 of that. And he bought his wife a gift before he left to go to Hajj. Because he says, the Prophet ﷺ says, you must make your wife and children happy before you go to Hajj. So I'm like, what you did? He bought her a Mercedes-Benz for $100,000 cash. But in the Holy Land, he said, I was like a beggar. See what you learn? You may be a king here, but in the eyes of Allah, we are a beggar. That's why it's Abdullah. You know, in Arabic, what is the title of a Muslim? Abdullah, the slave of Allah. Your millions and your billions worth nothing. And here is a brother I didn't read that in a book. The man came to me to ask me to make a call. And asking him who or what he is and where he's from, I learned that. And there are other brothers in the group who know that story. And not only that, after that incident, the man had a garbage bag cleaning the tent. A man who is blessed with millions in US dollars, and I didn't mean a millionaire in rupees, or taka, or daka, or whatever you call it. Okay? Millionaire in dollars, US dollars. but he felt what it was like to be a beggar in the eyes of Allah. But I admire that, and I in my own, I'm like, I have known people who disappeared and they did not come back so easy. But his kindness, his humbleness, his simplicity, he was so kind and humble and simple that Allah made his pathway easy for him, that he found back the group and he came back very natural. Very natural. So, you know, brothers and sisters, a lot of lessons we learn. And one of the main lessons in this is the love for Allah. Just to answer the call. That's why the dhikr in the Holy Land is Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik. Allah, I'm here. I've left everything. My wife, my family, my children, my business, my money, my properties, all for my love for you. That supersedes all. And we go and give salam to the Prophet in Medina out of our love for the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's all about the love. And it takes away that materialistic arrogance and ego from people. It brings us down. Sometimes the arrogance gets people angry and mad, but when they come to realize, they realize, well, what could I do with my anger and my arrogance? Nothing. But pray to Allah. It's very interesting, my brothers and sisters. Time does not permit to go on, but there are many lessons that we can learn from the Hajj, and that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Hajj, you know, it's just about just answering. Go and obey Allah for the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why Allah says, those who don't care, He doesn't need us. He does not need us. Those who reject the call, He doesn't need us. And when you go to Hajj, you really see that. How the millions and the millions of people love Allah and they need Allah. So we need to join that bandwagon, as we say. Because Allah doesn't really, and not that He doesn't care about us. I don't want you to miss that point. Yes, He cares and He loves us. But I don't want us to have the arrogance to think that Allah needs us and Islam needs us. No, that's the point I want to get at. Allah loves everyone and cares for everyone. His mercy is upon everyone. But Allah does not need us and Islam does not need us. We need Allah and we need the barakat of the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's what we need to make this effort and this sacrifice for, inshallah. And we must try to, last but not least, try not to be selfish, my brothers and sisters. That's something I have noticed in Hajj. I've noticed people who are selfish, they suffer a lot. You try to always care for somebody else, love for somebody else, do for somebody else, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, those who are kind to others alal ard, on earth, those who have mercy and kindness for people on earth, Allah in the heavens will be kind and merciful to them. So that's another thing we learn in Hajj, because everyone is about themselves. Everybody want to kiss the stone alone. Everybody want to stand and give salam to the Prophet alone. Everybody want to eat the best food alone. Everybody want to be in the front line. Everybody want to get the best of the best. But if you care for somebody else and give way for somebody else, then Allah in the heavens will care for us.